9:14 right here on this 25th day of January, and a day that, well, every meteorologist in the Metro East got wrong. But that's okay. Brandon Banks here with me with Madison County Building and Zoning, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Normally I get these things wrong. I got to be careful. Resource Management Coordinator, and you guys have some really cool e-cycling pickup days that we're going to be talking about here shortly.
We do. So what I essentially do for the county, I'm the Resource Management Coordinator. So I do a lot of the more environmentally friendly programs.
Right.
So the e-waste collections, as we like to call them, we do these 4 times a year. Now, these are free for all Madison County residents to come in and drop off TVs, essentially anything that has a cord attached to
Right.
it. So, these are extremely popular. We usually service around 400 or so households.
Wow.
And pick up around 200,000 pounds of electronics each collection. So it's, super successful.
Wow. I was thinking like a year we get 200,000. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. These programs are super, super important because in 2011, there was a thing called the SARA Act. Okay. Now, this was implemented to reduce the amount of electronics that go to the landfill. And so whenever electronics, TVs, dishwashers, anything that runs on electricity goes to the landfill, now they have really heavy chemicals in them. Heavy chemicals, heavy minerals, such as cadmium and lead.
Gotcha.
So these things can seep into our groundwater. So the reason why we put on these programs is to give a good resource for our community to come drop off those really tough to recycle things.
Well, it makes sense because so many times, I mean, at least 3 times a year we have something we got to get rid of, and we're going, well, who even takes this? Because there's so many different things and hoops to go through for companies. But I mean, this is a perfect opportunity. So do you try to do one each quarter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 4 times a year. Usually the first quarter drops around March 11th.
Okay.
That's when this year is, and we do try to do those quarterly.
Now, what can people bring? What can't they bring? Is there a restriction or any type of guideline in that type of endeavor?
Yeah, we try to keep it pretty broad. Essentially, like I said, anything with a cord, anything that runs on electricity,
That's
lamps,
wild.
Even large things like refrigerators. One thing
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yes.
So
I like it.
A lot of folks, we see a lot of TVs.
Mm-hmm.
And we have these collections during the year. Other communities do these collections as well, but they charge for TVs. What's great about what Madison County does is we provide this resource for all TVs, essentially anything that runs on electricity.
That is really cool. Honestly, I didn't think it would be that broad.
Yeah.
Now, how many years have you guys been doing this program?
So it's been over 10 years. I've been with the county a little over 4 now.
Right.
And these programs, along with our household hazardous waste collections, have been instrumental of giving resources to our communities.
And, is there kind of a scope of questions that you guys normally get in your office when these type of programs are announced from residents? Is that kind of like a general FAQ that you guys go through that you'd like to kind of highlight here?
Yeah. So I run the recycling hotline. So
oh, really?
It's a hotline where you can call in if you have anything that you are not sure if it should go in the recycling, if it should go to the landfill. One of the biggest things parts of my job is to reduce the amount of waste that goes to the landfill. The landfill is instrumental in our community, brings in a lot of tax dollars, a lot of revenue. So we want to prolong the life of the landfill. And that's why we put on these collections to not only reduce the amount of chemicals that may seep into our groundwater, but provide this opportunity for residents as well. So that resource, if you want it, you can go to recycling at MadisonCountyIL.gov, and that email will go directly to me, or you can give me a call directly at 618-296-5237.
That's pretty damn impressive right there. Remembering all of that without even looking down at a script. I like it. When did these programs kind of evolve? Because I hate to say it, I'm learning kind of for the first time about the recycling hotline. That's really cool.
Yeah. We try to get these words out as much as we can. So actually, what's funny is the household hazardous waste, we just implemented that last year.
Wow.
So this would take any old gas, oils, household chemicals, and this is all free for Illinois residents. We partner with the IEPA with this as well. They do the transportation, we do the collection, and they do the disposal. So this is actually pretty interesting because we are the only area in Southern Illinois that has one of these locations.
Wow.
So we're extremely lucky. last year we put this in place. We used to do 2 collections a year. Now it opens us up to 24 collections a year, and we're only moving forward with it.
And now, since your time, joining up with Madison County, I mean, what's been the thing that you've been most proud of seeing develop? Has it been that program? I mean, because you're a part of a lot of things when it comes to this type of industry.
Yeah. Well, I really like working with the public. And these programs give us an opportunity to do that. Like I said, we service around 400 households each collection. Wow. As well as our HHW. A lot of things I do is provide these recycling resources for folks. So another thing you may be unaware of is the green recycling bins. Now, they are placed strategically around the county. We have one right up here, right behind Danny's.
Yep.
So we have 7 of those around the county. So folks who don't have single stream recycling in their households, apartments, or kids that live in the dorms or whatnot, they can come and drop off their recycling there as well. So these programs
really
are
cool.
are really, really great.
And I mean, it's really just incredible. Now, how did you get involved with Madison County? Because I remember you, soccer star, scored against Edwardsville. My dad's favorite goal to talk about, and I mean, now you're over in this role. How'd you lead into that?
It was kind of a weird story. I was working at Bar and Grill up in Grafton, the loading dock, for many, many years. And, I noticed, we would just throw all of our glass and everything like a normal bar does. Throw all their, even recyclables into one trash can. I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a more efficient way to recycle some of these bottles. So I was also going through school. I was finishing up school at the time. And I was, a lot of what the courses I would take would be focused on this conservation of our natural resources. And for my senior thesis, I put together a program which I wanted to strategically target Grafton and the bars in Grafton, where we could essentially help these businesses learn how to recycle better or provide them with the resources to do so. And, I just fell into this thing, and it kind of snowballed. And I got an opportunity as the outreach associate for the county. So I was doing a lot of social media updating and website management and all that stuff. And I got another opportunity to move forward, and, here I am now.
That's incredible. I mean, this is really cool. And it's like, I feel like so many of us, though, are like me going, how did I not know about this? Because I see you guys are very active on social media. Maybe it just takes a few years to trickle down to me,
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, like I said, I got hired on as the outreach associate, and because I saw a need to, get this information out, these resources that are really important for folks. And, it's difficult to reach everyone, like social media was really big, 10 years ago. Now folks, aren't so inclined.
That's true.
And, we do press releases, and, we do, morning shows and whatnot. But, it's really difficult to reach, the specific targeted areas. So, we do our best, but, there's always room for improvement.
Now, what's been the most difficult challenge of, kind of getting people on board with these programs, because they're obviously really instrumental and needed. But, sometimes it's hard for us to kind of change our routines and our habits. Has that been kind of something you've experienced, or has this been welcomed with open arms?
Well, these programs are always very successful. People, they get great reception. One, because they're free. Everybody loves free collections or free programs or services or anything like that. So they are always well received, but we've seen it's difficult with recycling these days. Some folks think maybe all their recyclables aren't going to the right place, and we're here to reassure them that, hey, their recycling is going to the right place. It is going to the landfill, which the landfill is actually a transfer station to the MRF, the Material Recovery Facility in St. Louis. So, a lot of people kind of forget about, the resources that are available to them. So, we just try to advocate for, just doing your best. You don't always have to rinse every little piece of peanut butter out of your jars or anything like that. But, just do your best. When in doubt, throw it out.
Gotcha. So milk jugs, you just can rinse them once. You don't need to soak them or anything.
Yeah. Milk jugs, like I said, peanut butter jars, jelly jars, any kind of food containers. You give them a quick rinse and they'll be just fine.
Well, there's so many, but those are really, good questions that honestly I've been thinking about for quite some time. And another thing that I like is how you guys are so good at, kind of updating us on certain things, whether it's for e-cycling or different, flood maps and things like that.
Yeah.
In terms of just social media to begin with, has that picked up in the last couple of months or a couple of years? Because it seems like it has, that you guys have been really, just on the ball with everything that's happening in the county.
Yeah, we try to be. The building and zoning department has a lot of different arms.
Right.
We have a green schools coordinator that goes into, I think we have 45 schools now.
Really?
That we, help them with their education. We try to help out teachers. They already have a heavy load, so we just try to give them the resources and supplement some of their education as well. We have a flood, what's her name, her title name, but a floodplain coordinator.
There's a lot of titles out there.
Yeah, there is a lot of good stuff happening at the
Right.
county. So, this is what it's all about, trying to conserve and keep Madison County beautiful.
Now, you've been a part of, I'm assuming, a couple of these collection days now, or at least, maybe shown up. Have you seen any, just crazy, outlandish items that you would never have expected to be dropped off?
It's tough. I do work almost all of these electronic
Right.
collections. And like I said, we do see a lot of TVs. Folks, what's funny is folks want to utilize this resource. So they'll stack up TVs for, years and bring them all in on a flatbed truck, but it's good, because once we recycle these TVs, there's good minerals in those
Right.
TVs as well. You can get gold, you can get silver, you can get all kinds of things out of these things. But as far as a really strange, we see some treadmills, some heavy items, refrigerators.
By March, all the treadmills come out, They've had enough.
Like they give up on their New Year's resolution. But yeah, not too many crazy things. It's mostly just, small electronics and stuff.
And let's circle back to the household hazardous waste collection, because I think that's really important now because I'm on your Facebook page now, just kind of going through some things.
Absolutely.
I mean, this kind of encompasses the gauntlet of household items, like, it looks like pill bottles and different avenues like that. What is accepted in those drop-off days or those?
So we try to keep it as broad as we can. So a general overview would be, old gasoline, oil, any kind of household chemicals, cleaners. They even take batteries, AA, AAA batteries, anything smaller than a car battery they'll take. Fluorescent tubes, if you have any of those. We have an expansive list on our website if you want to check it out. But most folks, they bring in their gasoline and their oils.
That is really cool, though. I mean, because there's so many times I feel like we're all going eventually, especially the start of the year, going, what the hell do I do with this stuff? Where does it go? And you guys have so many great opportunities for this. And it's really, to me, it gives us an incentive to not, because I hate, people get mad at me when I say go green, but it really does, because you're making it, an interactive, kind of engaging event.
Yeah. We try to be, just as helpful as we can for our residents. We don't have any kind of, bias either way. We want to do best. I think everybody can agree, the recycling and conserving our resources here in beautiful Madison County is one thing that everybody can get on board with. Another program that we've really tried to pick up and run with is our Clean Communities program. So essentially what that is the county provides resources for volunteers who want to go out and pick up litter around their community. So we'll provide a reflective vest, grabbers, gloves, and bags for free for anyone who wants to go out there. So we work with Rotary clubs, Boys and Girls clubs, different agencies and groups around the community that really want to go out and help out. So that's a really big program that we've been trying to grow more recently.
That's incredible. Yeah. And now, where did the inspiration draw from that? Do you guys ever network with other counties to see what they're doing, or do you guys just kind of see trends and develop your own concept?
We work with surrounding counties. However, we do build out these programs a lot internally.
Right. Okay.
How the Clean Communities came about was just the abundance of litter around our community. And my office is in Edwardsville, so I drive up 143, and that's where the landfill is. And a lot of times, litter will either, fly out of the trucks or people just maybe would throw it out of the car. So I just saw a buildup of litter and trash, and I was like, I'll get out there with my family and pick up litter and stuff. But, we need a larger, broader effort to help out. So, Yeah, we work for these programs, and we really help that people jump on board and take part in them as well.
Well, it seems like you guys have a really solid team and just really solid structure to be able to do all these different, components. This isn't easy to do these pickup days and do all these coordinated efforts. Do you just give that credit to your team and just the members you got?
Well, a couple years back, and they still do it. They still are doing it. The Riverbend Trash Tag Challenge. The Sierra Club locally, Alton Main Street, they've been doing this for years, and we kind of saw what they were doing and how positive it was in Alton and their community, and we just wanted to help out, and we kind of took their framework and try to evolve it into a broader scope, and this is where we're at.
That's incredible. And for more information, what's the best way to find out more about these programs? I know that you guys have a few that come up throughout the year, and you're more than welcome back anytime we have anything to kind of highlight, because this is really great for all of us to do. It's the start of the year, maybe time to reevaluate our trash intake, I think, especially looking at the trash can on Christmas Eve going, oh, dear God, what did I do? This is great. So how can we find that information?
Yeah, you have a couple different options. The first one I would give you is go to Madison County BZ, Madison County B as in boy, Z as in zoo.com. That'll source you with our main webpage. And on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see, all of our various programs. Hover over recycling, and you can see our 7 different recycling containers. You can see our events and all of our various green schools programs and watershed management programs as well. But you can always reach out to me directly. I run the recycling hotline again, so recycling at MadisonCountyIL.gov.
That is just, I love the recycling hotline, because there's actually so many times I ask the same question. I can't know how many times I've texted, dad or mom, or called grandma going, hey, is this, is this okay? And this is just really great, Brandon. You guys do great work up there. And anytime you got anything you want to come on and talk about and highlight ahead of pickup days, more than welcome to.
Okay, absolutely.
And, I'll make sure to tell Dad that you came in and talked all about that goal against Edwardsville again.
Tell him I said hello.
9:31 here on this 25th day of January. We got a busy show coming up, Sips and Strings. In the 10 o'clock hour, we're talking to Tom Emery and more of our daily show. That rolls on right after this in downtown Alton.